In today's video, I'm going to give you exactly what you want. Altcoin picks, but not just any altcoin picks. I believe these altcoins out of the entire crypto market are going to outperform, and in today's video, I'm going to explain to you exactly why. We're going to talk about 10 altcoins today. That are the altcoins that are currently on my accumulation list. Every time we get a major dip in the market, these are some of the coins that I'm scooping up, and I'm going to go through the thesis behind each one. We actually did get a major dip this week. As you can see here, a major wick on Bitcoin, and if you go onto Total 3, we also had a major wick as well, but this pretty much instantly got eaten up, and there was so much panic a couple days ago. But looking at the market now, it's pretty much back to exactly where it was last week. And I actually said yesterday on my Twitter that I was starting to position myself again in altcoins after you guys know I actually sold off a few days prior before the dip. So I'm not a genius. I got a bit lucky with the timing in terms of selling the local top and then buying back in, but I just go on my intuition, and really what my intuition tells me in this market is when the market's getting a little bit too overheated, like with the whole WIF sphere thing, people sending hundreds of millions of dollars to random Solana addresses, that was a little bit toppy. That's why I de-risked. And then I went back into the market because I saw yesterday and the day before, there was just so much panic and lots of discounts across strong alts. But the market actually revealed some really interesting signs during this dip as to what the strong performers are going to be over the coming weeks and months. And that is exactly what today's video is about. So before I get into those altcoins, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone. We just hit 150,000 subscribers. This is pretty crazy though, because just 100 days ago, I was on 50,000. So we've grown the community pretty much 1,000 subscribers per day over the last 100 days, which is absolutely insane. So to everyone that's recently subscribed to the channel, maybe you've been following me for some time, maybe you just joined, welcome, and thank you so much for all the love and support on the content. In yesterday's video, you left so many amazing comments where I went through my top mistakes from the last bull run. I'm glad you found it valuable. I'm going to keep trying to bring you that educational focus in every video because I want all of us to succeed this cycle. If that sounds interesting to you and you aren't yet subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell for daily crypto opportunities and alpha. In fact, anyone that came here from a notification, comment Noti Gang in the comments below. Might do a little giveaway for some of the Noti Gang very soon, because I do appreciate everyone that watches these videos every single day as soon as they come out. It's pretty crazy. Sometimes I have like 10,000 views almost instantly as soon as the video comes out. So I know the Noti Gang is strong, but let me know who you are in the comments below. Now, the market had a rebound. The rebound gave us a lot of information. I pretty much think of every major dip as the market showing its hand. It's like you're playing poker and you're playing heads up versus an opponent, and that opponent literally flashes their cards. That is what the market gives us every time there's a major dip. But for some reason, not everyone takes advantage of this, but I'm a big believer in following strength in the market, and this hasn't led me astray yet this cycle. In fact, it's the reason why I've been able to hit trades on coins such as AI, like Render, which has done a 6x, Agix, which has done a 6x, Phantom, which has done a 4 to 5x, like all these coins in recent times. It's all been based on this strategy that I implement, and that's identifying strength. So the way this works, and I have gone through this in a little more detail in previous videos, is every time there is a dip recovery. So when the market dips like this, you want to look on the bounce what projects actually recover the best. There's many ways you can do this. You can use Banter Bubbles, filter by 24 hours. You can also use Velo and look at the top gainers on price changes. Then, the next time the market has a major dip, take note of what recovered the strongest last time and take note of which coins have been outperforming. Those are the best coins to accumulate on dips. So you should be adding to your dip accumulation list on TradingView over time to create a list of tokens that you really think are showing strength in the market and could outperform over the next month or two. I am going to save a bit of work for you in today's video because I've done the research. I've gone through all of the data on Velo Data, one of my favorite websites for this. I've gone through all of the data on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, TradingView, etc. And I've come to a few realizations. So one of these realizations is that L1s are showing a lot of strength right now. And look, there's a little bit of a Solana catch-up with Sol running so hard. A lot of alt L1s are now starting to catch a bid. But I think the other reason behind this bid is because the market just loves infrastructure plays. Like every single bull run, when we see the explosive market conditions come back, the market tends to gravitate towards and show some favoritism towards the layer ones. And so do the VCs when it comes to raising as well. So I definitely think there is a little bit of a broader layer one rotation trade going on right now. So let's talk about those altcoins first, take a look at them, look at their individual catalysts. Then towards the end of the video, I'll give you some more altcoins across another variety of sectors. Because there are some ecosystems which are really hot right now, for example, Coinbase, which we do need to discuss, but let's start with the layer ones, because that is where some of the alpha lies. The first thing I noticed is that Aptos recovered the dip extremely quickly. It pretty much barely dipped. It did actually wick down on some exchanges, but its recovery has been phenomenal. It barely blinked. So Aptos is definitely one that has the favoritism of the market right now. And if you go into Velo and actually sort by large caps and go onto the weekly, you can actually see that Aptos is outperforming. Now, why is this important? Well, if Aptos can outperform during a dip, then if the market does go on another leg up, let's say Bitcoin goes to 73K again, what coins do you think are going to perform the strongest? Are they going to be the ones exhibiting weakness or the ones exhibiting strength? Probably the latter. And for that reason, a coin like Aptos probably continues to outperform in the shorter term. Crypto is all about following the trend. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend. It's usually not good to buck a trend in a bull run. It's actually good to do the converse and back a trend in a bull run. Now, a lot of people are coining the month of April, Aptos April. It's a bit of a narrative. April's still 9-10 days away. So Aptos is a coin that I was positioning myself in during the dip. I did mention, as I said, that I was starting to bid on a lot of L1s, AI. We'll get into AI later in the video, etc. And some meme coins to reposition myself after I did take profits. At the end of the show, I'll also get into when I think you should be buying as well. So first I'll go through all the tokens, and then at the end I'll go through my accumulation strategy for the current market conditions we're in, considering most of that dip has now been eaten up. So for those that didn't catch that dip, I'm going to explain at the end what a prudent strategy for approaching a lot of these coins is right now in the market. So that's Aptos. Let's move on next to Phantom. I've got to tell you, I've got to be honest with you, I've got a confession to make. My Phantom bag is 3 to 4x bigger than it was at the bull market peak in terms of dollar amount, which is absolutely crazy. But I mean, that's just a reflection of my portfolio value now versus then. Anyone that was following my content back in the bull run knows I was big on Phantom DeFi. It was so much fun back in 2021, that DeFi wave that we saw on Phantom. I learned so much and I honestly found it a blast. Obviously, since then, Phantom has struggled in price, but it's really started to make a strong recovery. And this long, boring accumulation phase luckily gave us a lot of time to accumulate. Now, as I mentioned, I like longing strength, so I wasn't actually buying into this kind of price action. I waited for us to cross the 30-cent mark, and I waited for a break of this diagonal trend. I'll draw it in, and this is something you can do on the weekly time frame. And it was around here when I first started accumulating. Then it had a run up, and on this pullback and the retest of this horizontal, that's when I added again. So that just gives you a little bit of an insight into how I trade these patterns. There are a lot of L1s in the market right now which haven't had this next leg up and are still in this range. Those are some really interesting plays, the ones that are starting to show strength but haven't fully rocketed yet. But Phantom itself is one that I'm very interested in, accumulating Phantom on dips like yesterday. And I do think this one performs really well over the coming months and does exhibit strength. Your goal in the market, right, is just to outperform the market. You don't necessarily need to hit 50, 100x's like these crazy multiples in the market. Your goal is really to outperform Bitcoin, outperform ETH, and outperform most of the majors. So if you can do that, then I think you're successfully trading a bull run, because if a bull run 10x's the entire crypto market cap, if your risk-adjusted beta is slightly riskier than the average portfolio, and you're in slightly stronger coins than the average portfolio, then you're going to end up outperforming, right? And if you're also in the strength, not always, but typically, you will experience less drawdowns in the market. This isn't saying chase pumps. It's just saying definitely take note of the coins that are at least showing positive momentum. Not after they pump, but even in the early stages, during these dips when you can see there's a significant amount of buyer pressure, that does signal buyers are stepping into the market. So Phantom's a really good one. I mean, I said it was going to $1 when it was roughly 48, I think, cents on March 3rd. In fact, we can go back to March 3rd and see that it was at, look at it here, yeah, around 50 cents. Since then, it's doubled in price. So congrats to everyone that got on the Phantom train as well. But I don't think it's done. Andre's back. He's been pushing Phantom Sonic, which is their new mainnet. I mean, FVM was being teased a lot in 2021, 2022. It's finally here. It's not a meme anymore. And they achieved 10K TPS in their test environment, which is actually quite impressive because this was done with ERC20 transfers on mainnet, so not testnet. So that's pretty cool. And I think there are a lot of announcements to come on the Phantom side. Also, Phantom is starting to lean into this parallelized EVM narrative. I'm going to talk about another L1 in a second that also leans into that, but this is a really hot trend in the market, one that I'm a big believer in on the L1 side. And Phantom does offer, and this is a bit of a tongue twister, infinite parallelized horizontal scaling VM via ZK proofs. So this was a really funny meme that Andre posted, but they're definitely leaning into that trend. So Phantom is definitely one I am continuing to add to on major pullbacks, and I think this can also outperform. Also, there is actually a bit of interesting logic here, and it doesn't just apply to Phantom, but it applies to a lot of other coins. As retail comes back into the market, so as Bitcoin goes up, crypto is reflexive, so the media talks about it. As price goes up, fundamentals improve, retail comes back in. Retail tends to gravitate towards the coins that they know and they resonate with and that they can understand. And for a lot of people, those are just the coins that performed really well back in 2021. That's one of the reasons why Sol is performing so well. That's the reason why meme coins are performing really well. And it's one of the reasons why I think coins like Phantom are going to perform well and have been performing well, because a lot of retail that's coming back, I mean, if they think back to the most explosive coins, Phantom, AVAX, Solana, these were the biggest gainers last bull run. The L1s. That's why we're talking about L1s today, because they were the biggest gainers. And once again, we're seeing signs that they also are the biggest gainers again. I also do like L1s from a trading perspective because they have a decent risk reward profile, in my opinion. Like, they can be assigned ridiculously high valuations, and there's a very high ceiling on layer ones. You can see Solana's valuation around 100 mil FDV proves this. And also they tend not, as a reflection of their market cap, to get hit as aggressively as a lot of these DApp layer solutions that are a little more cyclical in nature. So that's why I do like the L1 bets. Of course, I'm a big bull on AI, big bull on, meme coins, RWAs, etc. We'll speak about some of the other narratives later, but there's a reason why a lot of the alts I'm talking about today are layer ones, and that's because that's been what's exhibiting the strength, and that's what I've also been accumulating most heavily. Say is the next one I want to talk about. This is a logical extension of the Phantom argument because this is also a parallelized EVM platform. It is a layer one built on the Cosmos SDK, so it gives you exposure to Cosmos. Say is basically what I would view as the trading chain. They're pretty much optimized for trading. You can stake it, you can earn airdrops from it. So it also has that narrative behind it like Celestia. But Say is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, it has a relatively low float because of the lockups for VCs and early investors. So the market cap compared to FDV does have that discrepancy. Low circulating supply tends to lead when buy pressure comes into more explosive price action. And two, it does have this EVM parallelization narrative. If Phantom helps trigger that as a broader trend, and we've also got upcoming blockchains like Monad launching, which harness this, then Say could benefit from the overall rotation into that narrative. So I do like Say. Also, it's under the L1 narrative as well. It's sitting at 83 cents. There has been a fair bit of sell pressure at $1, but if it can break through and go into price discovery, this thing can absolutely run, in my opinion. But it does need to break through first, so just be wary of that. It could be a decent breakout trade. For me, it's also a decent dip accumulation trade. Let's move on to the next one, which I've been talking about for a couple weeks, and I'm glad it's finally starting to get recognition in terms of price action, starting to show signs of life, and this is Sui. I think Move as a general programming language, so it's the programming language behind Sui and Aptos, genuinely does have potential to disrupt Web3 development. A lot of the developers that I've been talking to, they really enjoy programming on Move. They say it's a much better experience than Solidity, which is EVM. We're also seeing metrics on chain start to tick up. And like Say, these have super low floats, like 2 bill compared to an 18 bill FDV. A lot of the tokens still aren't circulating. You could look at that as a negative thing because you could say, well, there's going to be, supply pressure coming onto the market. True, but also the fact that there's a low circulating supply means that this can pump a lot harder than other coins that are more heavily weighted in the market and have more tokens in the market. So Sui is one that ticks a few boxes for me. They've also been doing a lot on the BD side, obviously partnering with multiple institutions. As you can see, they're cooking something in front of you with the shakes. So this is one that's on my accumulation list as well. The next one, and this is the final layer one, and then we'll move on to some other narratives for you, is Celestia. Celestia is interesting because it was pretty much the hottest token in the market a couple of months ago, and it has cooled off significantly. It did almost dip to $10 on that wick. It has rebounded now to $14, but it was at $20 at a certain point. And the reason it went so high is because it had this flywheel effect of a lot of people chasing the airdrop, staking it to receive airdrops. Maybe some of you are going for Celestia airdrops. By the way, I think there are going to be many, so I'm personally staking some Celestia, which I still think is a decent play, by the way. But because a lot of people were staking, it was reducing circulating supply and price was pumping. In terms of pumpamentals, not fundamentals, pumpamentals, I think Celestia definitely has the formula. So I'm not fading Celestia. It has been a bit of a contrary bet in recent times because it has actually shown weakness. So it does go against my thesis here of strong coins. But if this gives us more entries around that $10 to $12 region, even 14's okay, but especially at $10 to $12, definitely one that I'm adding. And that is something that I did add. I always want to give you updates on my portfolio. I added more during the most recent dip. So those are the layer 1 plays I'm looking at. But now let's move on to some of the other altcoin plays. I've got a few picks across AI, meme coins, and some other miscellaneous narratives that I'm currently looking at. And then at the end, I'll go through my buy plan and tie all of this together. By the way, if you do want to trade any of these tokens, I have an exclusive deal on BitGet right now to give you a $30,000 deposit bonus if you sign up to BitGet using the link in the description. So you can earn up to $30,000 and a $10 airdrop for signing up and depositing. This is going to be available for a limited amount of time. So if you do want a new exchange to trade on, or you simply just want an exchange that has access to pretty much, in fact, not pretty much, it does have access to all the altcoins I'm discussing today, then BitGet could be a good choice for you. I'll leave the link in the description if you want to check that out and take advantage of that bonus. Let's move on to the next altcoin, which is Avo. I guess this fits under the DeFi sector of today's video because technically this is a perp deck, so it is a DeFi product. Their token did get hit in the latest pullback, but it did bounce quite strongly from $2 back to $2.50. So that's why I identified it as a strong gainer over the last couple of days. Now, there is an interesting incentive program that we can talk about here aside from the token that's essentially enabling you to earn an airdrop of Avo for trading on the exchange or staking Avo or Ribbon on the exchange. So if you are a holder of Avo or Ribbon, which is their old token, which you can soon convert to Avo, then it might be a good idea to actually stake it and trade on the platform so you can earn an Avo airdrop. So this is a campaign for 4 months, which is essentially offering you the ability to earn Avo tokens. So there are 2 ways to earn tokens. The more you trade, and I'll leave the link in the description to the details here if you do want to read more. The more you trade, the more consistently you trade, you're going to get a boost which enables you to earn more tokens. And you can also stake those tokens to also earn additional yield. So if you stake and then trade, you're going to get a boost which enables you to earn more yield. That is the TLDR. I will leave all the links in the description, but this can be a way for you to actually accumulate just via organic trading. And if you haven't used the exchange yet, it's actually really good. One really cool feature is it allows you to trade pre-launch tokens. So you can trade Wormhole, Blast, upcoming tokens which haven't launched yet via IOUs. You can actually trade futures, which is really unique. And I think that's why the volume's been super strong. They also have pretty decent liquidity on their order books. So in some cases, it's actually lower cost than using a centralized exchange. Sorry, BitGet, who are a partner of the show, but it is true. I have traded Ethereum, for example, on Avo, and sometimes the price was actually more stable on Avo. I like both of your products, but so sometimes Avo actually does win in that department. So yeah, if you are an active trader, I know not all of you are traders. Some of you just trade spot. That's okay. But if you are an active trader, it could be a good idea to build up a little bit of volume on Avo so you can get access to this incentives program. Because as I said, it only lasts 4 months. Something I do like to do in this show is give you the latest alpha in terms of airdrop opportunities and incentives as well. Also, there's a little bit of an opportunity here potentially with the Ribbon token. So it's trading at $1.41. Avo's trading at $2.46. Ribbon can be redeemed 1-to-1 with Avo. So if you could redeem Ribbon for Avo today, you could essentially make $1 profit per token. Now, what's the caveat, Miles? Because free money sounds too good to be true. The caveat is that there is a 2-month redemption period where you essentially are locked before your tokens can be unlocked and traded on the liquid market. So the reason why Ribbon's trading at such a discount is because people are valuing liquidity. But if Avo for you is a long-term hold, for me it is a longer-term position, then this trade actually makes sense. You're going to get more Avo if you're happy to hold a couple months. If you're happy to deal with the liquidity problem, then it actually makes a lot of sense. If you don't want to be locked, then and you value liquidity and you actively trade in and out of the market, then I get it. But that is an interesting arbitrage for those that want to take advantage of that. But I'll leave that for you to decide based on your trading style. But I'm still holding AVO. I think it can perform well over the next few months. Obviously has Binance, which is very important. Let's move on now to Stacks. This is another DeFi play, a little bit left of field, maybe not one a lot of people are talking about, unless you're an OG viewer of the Deutscher channel. June 2023, I did a video saying Stacks was my number one altcoin trade for 2023. At the time, this was actually my biggest position, and I'm still holding a very large bag of Stacks. And you can see here that it was 62 cents. When I started talking about it, it was actually like 40 cents, but this video was at 62 cents. It's now sitting at $3.32. So roughly a 5x since when I first started speaking about it. So congrats to everyone that is on the Stacks bandwagon. Wanted to give you an update today and say, Stacks are showing a lot of strength. So this whole video is about identifying relative strength. It would be absolutely remiss of me not to talk about the token probably exhibiting the most strength in the market right now. And this is because Stacks is viewed as kind of a Bitcoin beta, Bitcoin proxy narrative. And it also has a specific ecosystem narrative, which is the Stacks Nakamoto upgrade, which is taking place soon. It's one of the biggest catalysts for the Bitcoin DeFi space in a long time. If Bitcoin DeFi is something you're interested in, then Stacks does become pretty much a must hold. If you're not interested in it, then I get why you wouldn't hold it, but for me, I am. So I hold Stacks and have been accumulating on major dips. But obviously, I did get some great entries, so I haven't had to accumulate too heavily recently because we're able to buy in at 40, 50, 60 cents last year. This was a high conviction play for me. I literally called it my number one altcoin trade of 2023 and it paid off. So that's good. Obviously, we hit bigger multiples on some of the AI coins, but oh well, I'm not going to snuff at a 5x. Crypto has this uncanny ability to make even a 5x seem underwhelming because tokens just absolutely pump and people are making 100x's off meme coins, and my Stacks bag doesn't look so impressive when my friends are turning $10,000 into $500,000 on meme coins. But I need to maintain perspective in the market as well. I did hit a 30x on Pepe, so I did get some exposure to that meme coin run, but I obviously wish I hit one of those 100x's, but I didn't. The next one I want to discuss is Optimism. Optimism is an L2 play. It's benefiting a lot from the Denkun upgrade, which has reduced fees on Ethereum by a mile. I think this is a really positive catalyst for the ETH L2 narrative, which is starting to build now, especially with these base metrics absolutely exploding. On Saturday and tomorrow on my Twitter, I'm doing a full base deep dive with my favorite ecosystem picks. I'm telling you, watch base. It is an ecosystem to not ignore. A lot of the altcoins on base, in my opinion, are going to absolutely explode. That's a bit of alpha for you now to research it in the meantime, but that video will be coming on Saturday and the thread tomorrow. Optimism is a little more actionable considering base isn't a tradable token right now. Only the ecosystem proxies are. Optimism benefits from some of the same catalysts. Also has a lot of protocols leveraging the Optimism stack to deploy on Optimism. I saw this tweet from Ashan before, someone I respect in the space, said he just met $1 billion Japanese retail giant that's decided to build on the OP stack L2. Even RSS3, one of the AI protocols I'm talking about in a minute, they've built on the Optimism stack. So I'm seeing a lot of these projects actually leverage Optimism's tech. It's a relatively neutral L2. The market likes it and developers clearly like it as well. Let's move on to the final two narratives. Let's just go through this quickly to give you an update. I don't think I need to go into it for too long. The AI sector, firstly, this is something I've been accumulating, and we've finally gotten some decent pullbacks on AI coins. If they do go lower, I will use this as an opportunity to stack. For me, I'm going down the list a little bit. I do like Tau and Render, but I just don't want to add to my positions there. I actually don't own Tau, but I do own Render, so I don't see the need to add aggressively. FET is one that I am adding. I do like that. AOS is one that I do like as well. Scrolling down the list, a bit of a riskier one, but one that I think could perform well is Golem. PAL, I don't own it. I don't own OPSEC either, but I know Becker and a lot of these other creators are talking about it. So as AI proxies, I think they can perform. RSS3 is one that I like. This is one of my higher conviction plays in the space. It's one of my biggest AI holdings as well right now. That's at 300 mil. Scrolling down the list, is there anything else? AIT is interesting. I hold some AIT. I can't really think of anything else right now. Those are basically the main things I'm focusing on, but I'm always looking into AI because I think it's going to be one of the biggest sectors in crypto. And to give you an update on the meme coins, because these are other things I've been buying, focusing on Pepe and Whiff right now. Those are the two. I think risk reward wise, they, for me, are the best balance for my portfolio because they have big enough communities to be a little bit more resilient than these lower cap meme coins, but they also have a low enough market cap that gives them upside if they do go and challenge SHIB and Doge with those $15-20 billion valuations. So Pepe and Whiff do sit in decent risk reward spots for my portfolio. You might be a little more risk on, but just knowing this market taking on too much risk, it can come back to bite you if we do get, those deeper corrections. So you do want to be careful. Toshi is one in the base ecosystem that I'm very interested in. I'm probably going to buy some more Toshi soon. I will do a full guide on base to give you an idea of how that landscape looks in a couple days. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I'm not going to go too far down the risk curve. I don't think it's the right time. When the time comes, I'll do another meme coin video. But those are the ones I've been focusing on for now. So I said at the start of the video, I'd tell you what I'm doing to accumulate. So my very basic strategy for accumulating these coins is using the previous dip as a way to dictate the next dip. What do I mean by that? You're kind of trading with the rear view mirror looking at the previous dip. What does that mean? The tokens that bounce the strongest, a lot of them I discussed with you today. Next time we get a major pullback, these are the ones I'll add to my portfolio. Bull market positioning is simple in my opinion. You want to accumulate on the extremely red days when the market's fearful. This is what I managed to do pretty successfully last week by skimming some profits off the top towards the end of the week, reinvesting at the start of this week. That worked well for me, but this general theory can be applied in the market during any major pump in a bull run and also any major dip in a bull run. Could there be a deeper dip? I can't answer that. I don't have a crystal ball. There definitely could be, and for that reason, I still wouldn't be buying these tokens into major pumps. I would wait for major red days. The good thing is, if you have all of these tokens in your trading view, and not just these, but tokens that you identify that you want to accumulate, right? Because what I need for my portfolio and your portfolio might be different. There's always going to be an opportunity to accumulate a token on your list. You might need to be a little bit patient. Not all the opportunities are going to present at once, but there will be dips. There always are. You just have to drill it into your head that these are opportunities in a bull run. So everyone that's fearful on these extreme red days, you have to shift your mindset. One of the ways you can do this without even having to tamper with your own emotions is just to set limit orders on exchanges so you can actually buy in on these red days to take advantage. So kind of a boring answer, but the answer for me personally, and obviously if you're really underexposed, you might make a different decision. But for me personally, I prefer to wait for extreme red days like we actually got yesterday to buy into these tokens. Luckily, I'm up on a lot of those buys, but if we do get a major drop again, I'm also happy to shift more stablecoins into them because some of these positions I want to actively gain exposure to. Sui, for example. I don't think I have enough exposure to Sui. I'm decently well positioned in Phantom, so I don't feel like I need too much more. Say is something I want more exposure to. Celestia, I feel like I have decent exposure to. All of these tokens, I kind of have a different plan for, right? So it really depends on your portfolio needs alongside the pursuit of making gains on a lot of these trades. So if you found this video helpful, smash that like button. If you got through the whole video and you aren't subscribed, what are you doing? You must at least like spending time with me to spend half an hour with me if you're still watching at this point. So click that subscribe button if you want to hear more of my annoying voice and see more of my ugly face. And I'm going to see you tomorrow for another daily upload. Got some banging content for you guys over the next few days. That full base guide is coming on Saturday. Super excited for that. So also make sure you got that bell on so you don't miss a single upload. I'll see you in the next one. Have a lovely rest of your day. Peace out.